I see some threats that need to be addressed. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Yeah. Ah, yes, there's always a threat. Hickok 45 here with a Rock Island Armory. Yes, it has been a while. Well, it's been a long time, like never. We finally have a Rock Island Armory at the compound. Has been requested many times for many years. It just didn't work out, right? This one is donated. This was given to us by the Gun Parlor in Worcester, Massachusetts. I hope I said Worcester correctly. I know everybody mispronounces that, don't they? But so we appreciate that and the support for the channel. It's really, really nice. We get more support than we deserve, probably, right? Let's take a look at it. Speaking of that, there's a bunch of Federal ammo. We appreciate the Federal cartridge, Federal Premium, supporting us and giving us ammo to feed these fine, hungry firearms. This one is the tactical model. As you can see, it's very empty, and it has some add-ons. It's not your regular GI model. It has, you know, your beaver tail. It has ambi thumb safeties, flat mainspring housing, the skeletonized trigger. It has a good trigger, you know, long trigger, good trigger. And you got sights that are kind of I don't think they're actually Novak, but they're Novak-like. And those are pretty nice. You can adjust those for windage and not so much elevation, I guess, but for windage. And it's just a pretty nice piece of equipment, you know, made by Arms Corps and in the Philippines. We've had lots of requests to do some more of these low-end 1911s, and we've done a few. And this one is one of the most popular, actually, the Rock Island. They've been around a good while, and not a mystery. There's no secret. You already have opinions about them, those who know, you know, much about them. One of your opinions is you don't like that big Rock Island Armory billboard on the side of the slide, do you? I think they have been receptive to the criticism of that, and they've moved it back here, and it's much smaller on I don't know if it's newer models or what. This is a new gun, but I think in the future they're changing that, and it might be that way on your gun. So it really has a lot of those things you want on a firearm. It has some things you might not want, and we'll talk about that. I'll load the magazine. I'll go ahead and talk about it. How's that? Get right at it. Well, what is it that I don't like about this gun? The sights need a little white outline or something. If I hang on to this thing very long, I'll have to paint that front sight. It's you know, I think most of us have gotten to the point where we like a little something on there. I know when I first started shooting 1911s and competing, I'll turn it over here, back in the 80s, as far as competing, yeah, there was this feeling that, black sight's fine, just leave it that way. But I don't know, I always painted mine. I put some fingernail polish on it back in the old days, and same for the rear sight if it needs it. So that sight could use a little paint of some sort. And what else do I not like about it? I don't like the ambi safeties. I typically don't like ambidextrous thumb safeties. I wouldn't mind one on the off side for me, which would be on the right side because I'm right-handed, if it were really minimal, if it were just scaled way down. The problem with this one is it hits, and I've seen the criticism on the internet, people saying the same thing. Boy, it's so true for me. The first thing I noticed when I pick it up, hits my knuckle here, and I could almost have trouble disengaging it because it's against my knuckle there. Of course, I have large hands. If you have small hands, maybe not, but I notice a lot of people criticizing that. So again, if I were going to keep it, well, first place I might, if it was possible, to just take this side off or get another one, or get the Dremel out and take that thing way down on that side, and even on this side. Doesn't need to be that big, okay? But their heart was in the right place. You know, they put an ambi safety on there. A lot of people like those, and it's probably not too big for some people. Too big for me, in my way. Okay, anything else negative about it? It does have a rubber mainspring housing, but it's it's a flat mainspring housing, which I like. I'd rather have a rubber flat mainspring housing than a titanium arched mainspring housing. Okay. Now, some nice things about it. It feels, I don't know if you can you feel that? It feels, it's got a weird sound. Like somebody stepped on the cat. But it's smooth. I mean, the workmanship feels fine on it. And let's see, have we had a malfunction? I've shot it for a few days now, off and on. I don't recall. Well, yeah, I've had a couple, but it was with some Armscor ammo. How's that for irony? Because Armscor makes this. Okay, that's the only ammo we've had any problems with. I'll tell you, I've shot some. I wanted to try some 115 grain ammo. Fortunately, the Federal sends me the ammo I really like, 124 grain and 147 grain. But I had some 115 grain and what was it? Actually, I think it was some Federal Champion, some low end stuff, and it worked fine, no problems with it. And I had a bowl of Armscor I've been using, you know, for months off and on, and so I just tried that in, and I had light primer strikes, maybe at least one out of a magazine, every magazine. And I had a couple of hang-ups. I don't know what the deal was with that. But all the Federal I fired, and even the cheap stuff, it's worked fine. Now, it may not today. It is a low-end gun, and it has a nice trigger, though. I tell you. I see why people like these, because for the money, about $450 for this model, you know, with all the add-ons. I don't think you get it for much less than $450. I'm talking prices at, you know, some of the online stores and places where, you know, you find that low-end pricing generally, and maybe at your local gun shop. So it's a pretty hot day, so let me get some of the sweat off my face and let's take a couple more shots with it. It shoots great. If I don't hit with it, it's my fault, because I pulled out of here with some of that 115 grain stuff. I know you're just having to take my word for it, but I actually hit the red plate 6 times in a row. Didn't set out to do it. I just started shooting at it and I realized, whoa, hey, I'm not missing. That's 3 times. That's 4 times. And hit it 6. Okay. And then I started shooting at it a minute ago and had trouble hitting it. But anyway, it is capable of shooting well. Whether I am, that's another question. Okay. What do we have left? Well, let's start out with a couple of things right here. Oh. Nice. Okay, that was tough. I've been working on that shot, that ricochet shot. Let's go over there and make a liar out of myself and try the red plate. I did notice I have to hold up on it about halfway. Okay, I got it that time. I told you I'd make a liar out of myself. I'll take a couple more at it. As you all know, that do any shooting at like long range precision stuff, it's like shooting at the little chicken. Some days you're on, some days you're not, and then sometimes when you pick up the gun you're on, and the next time you're not. But it's a little bit low. There you go. I was shooting fast before. It's probably why I was hitting it. Let's load up again. The trigger on this thing is really nice. I don't know what the weight is on it, but it's about like I like them. If I was going to compete, that's about what I would want. So some of the things you get for your money with a gun like this, it's it's kind of impressive, I'll have to say. Now, again, a lot of people wouldn't buy a low-end 1911. You got a forged slide, but I think a cast frame, and a lot of people, companies do that, but you got mostly MIM parts, whereas if you buy a $1,000 1911, you have fewer of the MIM parts, you know, the mold injected stuff and everything. And of course that's controversial as to whether or not those are actually as durable as forged and whatever milled parts and all that. And people argue about that endlessly on, of course, the internet. But there's a reason, of course, why a firearm is in this price range. But I tell you, you have to say it's a lot of gun for the money. And it kind of depends on who you are. If you're a long-time collector, and money is not a big object necessarily, you can spend $1,000 or $2,000 even on a firearm, you know, when you want to. This gun might not appeal to you. You know, you just would feel better if you went ahead and bought a Colt, or even one of the custom, you know, Wilson Combat or Ed Brown or Les Baer or something. So it's a different category, no doubt about it. Has some negatives, has some positives. For the money, though, I tell you, if you just want a 1911 to add to your collection, you're not interested in, you know, the best 1911 necessarily, or the ultimate 1911. You just like to have one. Not bad at all. Now, this is 9mm, if I didn't mention that, right? And some people would not have a 1911 unless it's a 45. But I tell you, it really is if you've never shot a 1911 in 9mm, it's a smooth operator. You got, of course, low recoil with that heavy slide. Feels really good. They're fun to shoot, I have to say. I had one decades ago. I remember it being you know, fun to shoot. I'm gonna try to play it again. I got hit it a couple times just so maybe you'll believe me. That wild story I was telling you earlier. Okay. Okay. Did I not have one in the chamber? It's not. No. Okay, I think I hit it. Okay, see, it'll pop it. Let's try the chicken. Got him, didn't knock him over. Let's try the gong. Let's put a new magazine in before we do that. Now it only comes with one magazine. To be grammatically correct, it comes with only one magazine. Nice trigger. It's fun to shoot. I wish I had more magazines. It's a kind of gun you like to have about 10, 12 magazines and just shoot. And shoot like crazy because there's no recoil to speak of. Again, if you really don't like the recoil of a big old 45, 1911s are not bad in 45. They don't really kick that much. But you know, they are thin. We've done in our videos the comparison on the slide versus, say, a Glock 21 or something, and they really are more streamlined. They're not a big brick, and so they jump around a little bit in 45. So they'll give you a little bit of a kick you might not like if you're recoil sensitive or you're new to shooting. 9mm in one of these might be an option. That magazine, I wonder who makes their magazines. Maybe y'all know from that. I'm not sure. I guess they make them down there, but it works. I haven't had, I don't think, a problem with it. And again, unless there's some of that Armscore ammo in the Armscore gun. But this one's from Brownells, by the way. I just bought it this morning and found it in a shop here close by. In fact, Elks Outdoors. That was a miracle find because 9mm magazines, 1911 magazines, are not plentiful. Really not. I'm not sure what the deal is there. Probably a run on them like everything else, right? I typically don't use a loader with you know, single stack 1911 mags, but I'm getting a little foggy there, and I do have anti-fog on my glasses. It's not working too well, is it? Oh, you know what I've got? I got a target here. I think with this target, we might just send it to the folks that gave us this gun. okay? And they can burn it or whatever they want to do with it. All right, 9mm. Gotta love it. You notice here, I shouldn't say this out loud, but we've not had a malfunction yet. Let me put it back in the holster here. My big Phobos, expensive Phobos holster. All right. Did I put one in the chamber? I think I did. Sweet shooter. I tell you what, I think I'll shoot one more time, okay? Don't rush off now. Don't rush off. We've got a little extra ammo here. Again, thanks to Federal. We'll load these up and shoot one more thing that needs being shot at. How's that? So we really do appreciate this ammo. And yeah, people are good to us. I don't know if we really deserve it. You think we do? Probably not, right? But you know, will lend us guns and give us guns like this, gun shops. We really do appreciate it. Appreciate y'all watching. We try to provide a little education, a little information, and you know, keep you out of the bars late at night, keep you home watching YouTube, kind of thing. Watching these evil shooting videos. So. Really, a 9mm is kind of fun in a 1911. I'll have to say, I'd forgotten. I had forgotten. Let's try the old tree there a little bit. Now it is a 9, so it's not going to whip them around. It almost had no effect on it, did it? Huh? A little weak 9mm. Oh, there we go. You have to hit them. That's it. Looks like going in the that direction that has more effect on them. Let's do a little machine gunning with this thing. See if it will cycle. All right. Let's shoot the tomb. Let's kill the tombstone. How's that for appropriate? All right. Ready, aim, fire. We got a couple on it. So anyway, now I know it's not a 45. And maybe there are people out there who have put thousands and thousands of hard kicking, 45 through a Rock Island Armory. These things have been out a lot. Many of you have them. A lot of people have them. I read a lot of the forum comments on them, and generally speaking, you find people have had trouble. But I guess on balance, most people are satisfied with them. You always find people who have problems with any gun, of course, and with these too. But by and large, it was pretty positive what I saw, and in total, really. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with it. It's done fine. Like I said, the one ammo issue we've had, and we've had some issues with Arms Corps ammo with other firearms. Light primer strikes with several firearms. But all the Federal we ran through, it went fine. I was going to fire some Blazer, didn't do it. You've probably done that. People have done it. This is not a new gun innovation in the market or anything. So a pretty cool version of it. A lot of people that want a really nice low-end 1911, you might be getting the GI model, which is neat too. Because that one's special to me, the GI configuration. But if you really plan to shoot a lot, you might want one with better sights, like this, and a trigger. This trigger is really sweet. It sure is. Oh, one thing it was doing when I first got it, the other thing I knew there was something else, another negative. It was hanging up the first really 4 or 5 magazines for the first couple of days. I mean, that wasn't thousands of rounds, probably through 50, 75 rounds, especially the first magazine or two. I'd pull the trigger and then it wouldn't shoot. The trigger was not resetting. So I put some ballast all in there, and I even sat around and just worked it, because I had a feeling it was just the Parkerizing or something in there. It just needed to be loosened up. And that's what it was. So it gradually was doing it less and less often, and it's quit doing it. Okay, so Anyway, that's about all the positives and negatives I can think of. Can't think of any more stories to tell you about how I shot 6 fleas at 100 yards with it or not, anything like that. But not bad, I tell you. Gosh, $450, that price range, it's something to consider seriously if you're looking for a low-end 1911 and 9mm per. Oh, one negative I forgot: the full-length guide rod. I was going to break it down for you. I forgot. Maybe we'll do it in another video or something, but it's not that essential. It's a 1911. It has a full-length guide rod, and that always makes them harder to break down. My opinion is, you may disagree, full-length guide rod, you gain nothing from that basically, in a practical sense at all. Just makes it harder to, or slower to break down. But it does have the full-length guide rod. You could change that out, which I would do if I keep this gun. So anyway, been fun bringing it to you. Life is good.